everybody to the first video of my channel, my online presence. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sale. I'm 20 years old. I'm currently working on my history undergraduate program, specifically my third year in Los Angeles. And if there's any hobby that I care very deeply about, it's competitive policy debate. I compete on the collegiate level in District 1 on the NDT CETA circuit, and I love policy debate so much, and debate in general, because I really value discourse, I really value depth of argumentation, and for that reason I fucking hate Twitter. Twitter discourse is awful. But aside from that, since this channel is meant to be inherently political, I feel like it's in all our best interest that y'all know my political positions. So, what are my axiomatic values? What is my framework? What do I make decisions based off of? I operate on a consequentialist utilitarian framework. So, basically what I mean by that is, how do we maximize the opportunity for the most people to live happy, successful, and fulfilling lives? I believe in increasing the general wealth of the overall population. I feel like the world's infrastructure is capable of achieving a truly egalitarian society. And because of that, if I were to label myself, I would label myself a progressive leaning towards anarcho-syndicalism. I believe that eventually the best form of society we could possibly reach is a true collectivist state where we abolish the commodity form. But before we get there, I do believe in a transitionary state. And because of that, I don't believe that we can immediately go from capitalism towards anarcho-syndicalism, which is why I really value market socialism. I think it's the next best step towards the decommodification of goods and services. So what I mean by market socialism is, making essential goods and services publicly owned, which would mean increasing the presence and the strength of worker cooperatives. I believe in making society inherently more democratic, which would come through worker cooperatives, shifting away from electoralism to a more direct democracy. I believe that direct democracy is achievable, especially with the infrastructure of the modern world. We have the ability to educate en masse, to create citizens that are educated enough in policy to make reasonable and responsible policy decisions. But before direct democracy, we need to establish a better form of education. To achieve market socialism, I believe in increasing the collective bargaining power of unions and increasing the power of workers' rights. And then, like I said before, eventually leading to the decommodification of goods and services, abolishing the commodity form. Because of that general stance, here are my general policy positions in the status quo. So on Medicare for all, I'm in favor of it. I believe Medicare is a right, not Medicare. Healthcare is a right. On felony reenfranchisement, I believe that democracy, voting, is an inherent core value in our society, and I don't think that anyone should be gatekept from it, no matter their criminal status. It's one of the reasons why we get so many fucking Republicans. Because it's also one of the driving forces of de-enfranchisement of POC folk, black folk, because they make up the majority of the prison population. I believe in the legalization of marijuana and the decriminalization of harder drugs, which would inevitably lead toward better responses toward treatment for drug abusers. That's my end goal for decriminalization of drugs. And aside with that, I believe in ending the drug war. I think it's one of the biggest prolifications, is that a word? It's one of the leading causes of the mass incarceration. It also just maintains general crime. I believe that ending the drug war and decriminalizing drugs would just overall maximize more wealth for more people. A lot of industries would grow up from it, and it would slow the carceral state, the expansion of the carceral state. And aside with that, I believe in right now police reform and then the eventual abolition. I don't believe that a total abolition of the police right now would be politically effective in mitigating crime and systemically addressing the issues right now. I believe in ending the death penalty. I'm not a particular fan of the monopolization of violence by the state, which is why I eventually hope for the abolition of police. I think that a monopoly on violence by the state is inherently what maintains the social order right now and maintains the capitalist framework. And with that, with ending state monopoly violence, I also am in favor of ending involvement in the Middle East. It's one of the driving forces of political and religious extremism in the region, and it's also not good for like geopolitics. Like, we probably shouldn't be fucking with other countries like that just because, you know, we're like big dick America. I believe in deterring nuclear proliferation and eventually leading to the nuclear abolition of nuclear weapons. And then this will probably be my most contentious take. I think Barnier busting is cringe. I believe that the best way moving forward is to get the fascist out of office. And the only way you're going to do that is through electoralism. There really is no ability to do that through direct action, at least not right now. We don't have the organizational power necessary to be able to do that. And I'll talk more about my Bernier bus position on later videos relatively soon, because I know that's a hot topic right now. On social issues, trans folk are valid. The medical and scientific consensus says that they are. There is no academic reason why they're not. There is no social reason why they're not. Trans women are women, trans men are men. Women have the right to abortion. I believe that abortion coincides with the right to bodily autonomy. I believe that systemic racism is still an issue within the criminal justice system, within policing. And here's one that y'all might not hear so much. I believe that incels, the incel problem, is a product of capitalism. It is a product of the atomization of our society, where even though we live in the most connected we've ever lived in society, people still feel more lonely, and that's not on accident. And I believe that incels are correlated with that. And so I believe that ending capitalism is an effective way of addressing the incel issue. Those are more my general policies. If anyone ever wants a more specific explanation on how I feel on something, you can always email me or send me a tweet. All these are linked on my channel. And so for my goals for this channel, mainly to log my political takes, like I said earlier, to create discourse that efficiently advances socialism. And so what I mean by that is I'm not here to jerk off about a theory. I'm concerned with what is the most immediate material consequence to the issue at hand, which is why I'm not burning or busting. I don't care if something is ideologically inconsistent with my positions. What I care about is the first thing I said when I started the political positions, is my framework. Consequentialism, utilitarianism. How do we maximize the ability for people to live happy, successful, and fulfilling lives? And so, if liberalism is the way to go in the meantime for that, then I will support that. I'm not here to jerk off to Communist Manifesto, to the State and Revolution, to the ego in his own. I don't particularly care. It doesn't influence my policy decisions on a significant level like that. And then one of my other goals is to take on internet fascists. A lot of them have been purged into oblivion, but there are still some alt-light, beginning of the pipeline people that I'm concerned of, that I have a particular interest in critiquing. A video will come up on that soon, probably tomorrow latest. And then overall, maybe just grow along the way. I didn't really make this channel for any kind of clout. It's kind of just for me to do something during quarantine, something productive, something with my discourse. I feel that that if you'll want to stick along, then I'll be able to do more live streaming. I'll be able to get my internet situation back up. But this isn't like a career decision for me. This is kind of just like in the meantime. But if we grow, who knows? Never know. And I hope you'll join me along the way. Like I said, if you have any questions about any of the political positions I have, any of my political ideology, you can shoot me an email. It's linked in my About section on my channel. Hit me up on Twitter. Give me a follow. Give me a follow on Twitch if you so like. I'm not sure how long it'll take for me to get the live stream up, but I will be working on that as soon as possible. And yeah, this is generally my positions. Thank you.